Hello, Justifies. I believe that's how you pronounce your username. Give me about 5 minutes. I'm just trying to set up my stream right now. Earlier I had stopped my stream and restarted my stream because my chat wasn't on my OBS. So I'm just making sure like everything's good on my end. Just like trying to set up my stream. So give me about 5 more minutes and I'm gonna start stream. But hello, thank you for coming in.
That feeling that's been gone for way too long. Remember when the music felt so good? I don't know where we went wrong. Maybe we need to stop and let the music take control.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. I'm here. I'm here. Let me check some stuff real quick. Okay. Good morning. As you can tell by today's title, by today's stream, I am doing a Kamen Rider deep dive. I'm gonna be watching a. How can I see it? I think it's pronounced Akrami Toko. His video. He has a video called "The Complete History of Kamen Rider," so I'll be watching that. That's like the first video I'm gonna watch. You know, to get into my understanding of Kamen Rider, the history, the lore of Kamen Rider. And I have like 2 other videos to like check out today. So yeah, that's today's stream. Just a Kamen Rider stream, like learning more about Kamen Rider. This is an extension to my first stream that I did of Kamen Rider. So check that out. It's like an extension to my first stream, which I reacted to some stuff. Like I reacted to like a lot of Kamen Rider clips and stuff. But this time it's more of like, now I'm gonna like try to learn the history behind Kamen Rider. So that's what this stream is about. Just like learning the history and watching some clips too. I think those clips were just more about the writers. This time I'm gonna like look at the female writers. I think it's, yeah, the female writers and the villains. Watch their henshins. So that's what this stream's gonna be. Yep. So I don't think I have anything else to say. Trying to think. I want to say glad to see you guys here. Glad to see. Oh, hello, Wagad. Hello. Glad you're here. Yeah. I have some coffee, so I'm gonna like kind of drink it a little bit. Okay. Oh, let's say thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for the support and the and the love. Thank you. let's get into it. Let's just get started. Yeah. Okay. So the first video is by Kwame Toko, The Complete History of Kamen Rider, 1971 to 2024. The video kind of stops at 2024. So, but let's check it out.
Is Kamen Rider so legendary?
Let me know if you guys can hear me.
From 1971's original Kamen Rider series to 2024's Kamen Rider Gav, the Kamen Rider franchise has built an incredible legacy and a rich history within Japan and throughout the entire world. This video will cover every single...
I'll say this. I started watching... Okay. I might mispronouncing it. Gyats. Right? It's Gyats, right? Or... Yeah, I got you, Juga. I'm gonna do it over the weekend. I got you. I never forgot. I'm gonna do your request over the weekend. Yeah, the Ultraman playlist. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out over the weekend. I'm gonna do it over the weekend. I got you. I didn't forget. I just have like other things to do as far as content wise. So, but I haven't forgot you. What was I? Oh yeah, I started. What? If, again, my mispronouncing it. Jets and Ziats. I might be butchering it, but I started watching them and did like my reaction to both shows. So let me know if you guys want to see episode 2, a reaction to episode 2 of Jets and Ziats. Just let me know, and I'll do like a episode 2 reaction of both shows.
Kamen Rider series throughout history, as well as other major milestones in the franchise like movies, games, and even American adaptations. So if you want a video that you can show to people who don't know what Kamen Rider is, or if you just want to take an entertaining walk with me through the complete history of this legendary franchise, this is the video for you. To tell the story of the Kamen Rider franchise, we first have to go all the way back to 1938, where a young child named Shotaro Onodera was born in the town of Tome in Miyagi Prefecture, Japan. Shotaro would take on the name Ishinomori, and he showed a lot of creativity and a talent for creating characters from a young age. He showcased his abilities in various manga competitions throughout his childhood before he would eventually create a character named Skullman that would of course go on to become Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider! Kamen Rider is perhaps best known for featuring young adult men that become cyborgs and transform into armored superheroes with a theme of grasshoppers and other insects, although this has loosened up a lot over time, and in the modern age, not all series.
You're saying this is not history, it's just an introduction? Okay. Well, I guess it'd be like a good introduction so far. Just a small synopsis. Well, I did watch the 3-minute synopsis for some series. Okay. Well, is it just more general wise? Like just, more general, like just of the series, like of the franchise, some more general basis.
Feature this bug theme. In fact, most don't. There are 3 eras of Kamen Rider, and these coincide with the eras of Japan's history. These eras are known as the Showa era, spanning from 1926 to 1989, the Heisei era, spanning from 1989 to 2019, and the Reiwa era, which spans from 2019 through the present day.
Not in general. Okay. Let's see. Well, I just want to have some understanding of of the franchise. I do want to have some type of understanding of it, and I watch his Super Sentai video. So I mean, it kind of helped me a little, to understand some of like about Super Sentai. So I figured I'm gonna check out, the his Kamen Rider one.
Kamen Rider! 今度は何をしようとするんだショッカーの怪物め
In 1971, Kamen Rider was born with the iconic original series, starring 2 main protagonists in Takeshi and Hayato, as they would take on Shocker and later Gel Shocker. Unlike modern-day seasons of Kamen Rider, this series ran for a whopping 98 episodes. And we would start with the story of Takeshi Hongo, a college student who was turned into a cyborg by Shocker, but they were unable to fully convert his mind, and he would rebel and battle against them. While filming a motorcycle stunt, Takeshi Hongo's actor Hiroshi Fujioka was injured and had to be replaced. They would replace him by Hayato Ichimonji, played by Takeshi Sasaki, and eventually they would join forces together, becoming the iconic Double Riders.
I remember learning about this. I believe in the last my first stream. Can Kamen Rider? You're asking, can he? I'm not sure. Can he? Can Kamen Rider Black RX solos entire durable countries or not? I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I really don't know. But yeah, I remember learning about this. I think my first stream of like doing like a Kamen Rider. I learned about like that. This stream's more of an extension from that stream. It's just more of an extension from like my first stream I did of Kamen Rider. That's what this kind of feels. It's more of an extension.
This series set iconic tropes, such as Kamen Rider being a cyborg fighting an evil organization, and of course his preferred method of transportation, his rider machine Cyclone. To say that this series was iconic and legendary would be a huge understatement.
Kamen Rider V3!
3-minute introduction video. I actually check out my I have a reaction video of reacting to the 3-minute introduction video. So check that out. I have like an actual video. Hold on. Okay, well, that video I reacted to the 3-minute introduction, and that branched off to the I learned I think I did learn that fact from that video, and also from my stream that I did, like my first stream that I was like learning about Tokusatsu and learning about Kamen Rider. But again, this stream's more of an extension to all that. It's like more of an extension to all that. You could just think of this as more of like a chill stream, just us like you know, watching, this and some clips and stuff. It's just more of like a chill stream.
In 1973, Toei would follow up the success of Kamen Rider with Kamen Rider V3, a direct.
Okay, learned about V3 from watching Toji Wants to Be Kamen Rider. Actually, all this started. Realistically, all this started me watching Toji Wants to Become Kamen Rider. That's like my introduction to Kamen Rider. Like, I was just watching this anime and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I want to know what Kamen Rider was, so that's how this all started. So yeah, that's how I learned about V3. And like, I learned about Kamen Rider, V3, and Rider Man from that anime. And also Tackle, if you guys know who Tackle is. And Shocker, the organization Shocker. Also, check out that anime. It's really good. I need to finish it though.
Sequel featuring returning characters from Kamen Rider. In this series, Shiro Kazami wants to be a cyborg in order to avenge his family that he saw being killed by Destron. He becomes mortally wounded while risking his life to protect the Double Riders, so in return they turn him into Kamen Rider V3.
Kamen Rider V3 に
This series features Joji Yuki, also known as Rider Man, played by Takahisa Yamaguchi, who has one of the most unique rider suit designs in the franchise, being that his mouth is exposed through his helmet.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Rider Man is a cyborg. I don't think he's like a cyborg, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's like the only one so far in the series right now that's not really a cyborg. I think. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I don't know. It's been,
Our protagonist Shiro is played by Hiroshi Miyauchi, who also played Owl Ranger in Go Ranger, Big One in Jaka, and Chief Counselor Naoyuki Miura in O Ranger, plus multiple seasons of the Metal Hero franchise. This guy is a Toku legend.
ライター V3 罪もない人々を何人殺せば気が済むのだ
As far as V3 suit design, it was a natural evolution from the looks of the Double Riders, featuring more red and a slightly more detailed design.
Kamen Rider X
1974 was the year of Kamen Rider X, where our main protagonist Keisuke and his father were betrayed by Keisuke's fiancée in order to assist God, the government of darkness, leading Keisuke and his father to become mortally wounded. Keisuke's father, who was a robotics expert, turned Keisuke into a Kaizorg, also known as X-Rider or Kamen Rider X, in order to save his life.
Kamen Rider X にセットアップするのだ
In this series, Keisuke starts as an easygoing character with the optimism of somebody that's about to get married. But all that is ripped away from him, and he turns into a machine.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up that your fiance would do that to you. Like, she just did a whole switcheroo on you. That's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Of pure precision and focus.
ライドのホイップ X ライダー
His helmet is meant to look like a skull, and his helmet definitely has a look that calls back to the Skullman manga created by Shotaro Ishinomori. Due to competition from anime on TV at the time, the show had lower ratings than the studio had hoped, and it only lasted 35 episodes. Also in 1974, we had Kamen Rider Amazon. This is the shortest Kamen Rider series.
I remember like seeing this in like my first stream I did of Kamen Rider. I remember seeing this. I was just like, I thought it was kind of funny a little bit, and I thought it was kind of interesting to see this kind of rider. I think there was a more modern Amazon rider which I saw that was kind of gruesome. I was like, wow. I think it was like more of a dark take on of Amazon
series ever, and one of the most violent. This show follows Daisuke, who was lost in the Amazon as a child, He was raised by wild animals before eventually...
Oh, okay, so he's kind of like Tarzan in a way, in a sense. Like he's kind of like Tarzan. Like you kind of be like the rider type of Tarzan. So I'm getting. If that makes sense, I don't know.
being adopted by an Incan tribe. Nearly
Like imagine if Tarzan became a rider. Like that's just how I imagine this to be, which actually sounds like a cool idea when you think about it.
his entire village would be killed by Golgos, but not before an elder in the tribe performs a ritual to give him the power to become Kamen Rider Amazon. This was an incredibly iconic and unique new look for Kamen Rider, with a helmet design and a suit design that had never been seen before. This was the first rider to not use a belt to henshin, and the first Kamen Rider series since the original to not have any previous riders returning. This is also the very last main Kamen Rider series that did not have a Sentai season air alongside it.
So he doesn't have a belt to henshin. So how does he henshin exactly? Like, was there something I missed out on? Let me make sure I got that correct, because
This show had lower
Interesting.
ratings than the studio had hoped, and it only lasted 35 episodes. Also in 1974, we had Kamen Rider Amazon. This is the shortest Kamen Rider series ever, and one of the most violent. This show follows Daisuke, who was lost in the Amazon as a child. He was raised by wild animals before eventually being adopted by an Incan tribe. Nearly his entire village would be killed by Golgos, but not before an elder in the tribe performs a ritual to give him the power to become Kamen Rider Amazon. This was an incredibly iconic and unique new look for Kamen Rider, with a helmet design and a suit design that had never been seen before. This was the first rider to not use a belt to henshin, and the first Kamen Rider series since the original to not have any previous riders returning. This is also the very last main Kamen Rider series that did not have a Sentai season air alongside it.
I do like the suit design for Amazon. I think it looks kind of cool. I like the suit design. Also, this suit design kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Beetleborg in a sense, as far as like the top part.
1975 saw the release of Kamen Rider Stronger, which was originally planned to be the final Kamen Rider series. This show follows Shigeru Joe, whose best friend and mentor Goro is killed by Black Satan. Because of this, Shigeru lets himself get turned into a cyborg, or Kamen Rider Stronger.
So first, a lot of avenging and revenge going on for like their backstories, like a lot of avenging.
He meets Yuriko, also known as Electronic Wave Humanoid Tackle, or Denpa Ningen Tekud.
That's where Taco comes from. She comes from this series. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I watched Toji Hercule Beetle. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, what are those things? What do you call? Is it antennas? Is that what they're called? Like on top of their heads, it's an antenna. It's not a horn. Like I don't study bugs or insects. I don't like know like what you would call it. Like is it their antennas? And yeah, this is where Taco comes from. Okay, she comes from this Rider series. Like I said, I watched Toji once to become Kamen Rider. That's how I like learned about Kamen Rider. Other than that, I never knew nothing about Kamen Rider. Never heard of like Kamen Rider. Never watched Kamen Rider before. So me watching that anime made me want to like actually check out Kamen Rider, and that's how we got it here today. But yeah, like now I'm learning about Taco, where she came from. Okay.
Who is also a cyborg created by Black Satan, and together they would battle Black Satan and later the Delzer Army.
レディーに向かって貴様はないでしょ
Electronic Wave Humanoid Tackle isn't technically a Kamen Rider, but she definitely has the look of one, especially the ones from the early Showa era, and she is bug-themed, with Tackle's motif.
Okay, so Kamen Rider, it's an antenna, but real life, they're a horn. So like it's called a horn for like in real life, you would say. Okay.
Being a ladybug, and she was even created by Black Satan in the same way as Stronger. Unfortunately, the actress Kyoko Okada, who played Electronic Wave Humanoid Tackle, passed away at the age of 27 due to an asthma attack. Shigeru was played by Shigeru Araki, who also passed away in 2012 of pneumonia.
Wait, so she passed away during the show was being made or something? Because she passed away pretty young. It's kind of young.
He meets Yuriko, also known as Electronic Wave Humanoid Tackle, or Denpa Ningen Tekud, who is also a cyborg created by Black Satan, and together they would battle Black Satan and later the Delzer Army. Electronic Wave Humanoid...
They both... Okay, so... Yeah, that's what I heard. Like, they both passed away, but I'm trying to figure, like, when Taco passed away, was it during the time of the show? Because I believe Stronger passed away, I think he said 2012? You passed away? How long ago did Rider-Man pass away?
Tackle isn't technically a Kamen Rider, but she definitely has the look of one, especially the ones from the early Showa era, and she is bug-themed, with Tackle's motif being a ladybug, and she was even created by Black Satan in the same way as Stronger. Unfortunately, the actress Kyoko Okada, who played Electronic Wave Humanoid Tackle, passed...
This is actually a beautiful woman, not gonna lie. This is actually a very beautiful woman. Sad to see her be gone at such an early age.
Passed away at the age of 27 due to an asthma attack. Shigeru was played by Shigeru Araki, who also passed away in 2012 of pneumonia. This was meant to be called Kamen Rider Spark, but that was trademarked in Japan. However, this would have been a really fitting name due to the show's focus on electricity. And this was the very first Kamen Rider series to have a temporary power-up for the main rider, that being Stronger's Charge Up form.
Kamen Rider!
4 whole years later, the Kamen Rider fandom would be introduced to Sky Rider. This was meant to be a reboot of the original Kamen Rider series, after the franchise had been off of TV for 4 whole years, hence the name and similar suit design to Kamen Rider Ichigo. This show would revisit classic themes and tropes from the first 2 Kamen Rider series. In Sky Rider, we follow Hiro.
I wonder how they got to do that. I wonder how they got to do this, like him flying.
Design to Kamen Rider Ichigo. This show would revisit classic...
Yeah, just... You know, I mean... I don't expect to, like, learn exactly... I guess you would say every single thing? Because I don't think I want to learn... I don't know, it's like... I want to learn some details, you know. I want to learn some details, like fill in the blanks, so to say, like just filling in some blanks, and like answering some questions I have that I thought of, you know. But it's just more so the journey, you know. I'm just taking it more so the journey of like just appreciating the franchise and like just wanting to learn something. And I don't want to get spoiled. Because I just started kind of watching, again, might be mispronouncing, Ziats and Ziats. I just started watching those, so I kind of want to get too spoiled with that. But it's just, it's just a journey, it's just like for fun, just a fun stream, a fun chill stream to let's like learn some things about Kamen Rider. So that's just how I'm taking it as. Even though I did, I believe the title is called Deep Dive, which is kind of like a deep dive, because I'm also watching the video, but I'm also learning from you guys too. That's where I learn from you guys. I learn not just from the video, but for the people in chat. Current should read as set SU. Okay. I don't know what that quite means, but okay.
Themes and tropes from the first two Kamen Rider series. In Sky Rider, we follow Hiroshi Tsukuba as he battles Neo Shocker. Eventually, the idea of this being a reboot was phased out over time, and classic Kamen Riders would appear, tying this into the continuity of the rest of the era. With a name like Sky Rider, this series was very focused on flight. However, this was also phased out over time, and as far as I can tell, this was because Shotaro Ishinomori was unhappy with the flight special effects, i.e. he didn't like how it looked when Sky Rider was flying around.
Okay, I get that now. I mean, Setsu. Oh, it's read as Kamen Rider Zetsu. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. Zetsu. I got you. Kamen Rider Zetsu. Okay. And back to what he's saying. I mean, him flying in the air is. I mean, they try their best. I guess the technology wasn't there just quite yet, but I mean, it is for the times it was. I mean, looking at it, it's kind of not as good as today's, cinema, but hey, it is what it is.
In 1980, we were introduced to Kamen Rider Super 1. Our protagonist, Kazuya, volunteers for cybernetic surgery in the International Space Development Program in the United States, so he can be an astronaut who doesn't need a spacesuit to survive in space. Unfortunately, before he can make it to space, the base where his operation is being performed is attacked by the Dogma Kingdom, with everyone else being killed. He goes to Japan and is trained by a martial arts expert named Master Ginkai, who teaches him how to henshin into Super 1. This show featured multiple types of interchangeable hands with different strengths and elements, and this functioned as a prototype version of the form switching that we see today. In 1984, Toei released a one-off special titled Birth of the 10th Kamen Riders All Together, and this was the introduction of Ryo Murasame, also known as Kamen Rider Z-Cross. Ryo was a pilot who was attacked by a UFO while with his sister before being kidnapped by the Badan Empire, who turned him into Z-Cross. With his memory erased, he does their bidding before quickly regaining his memory and escaping. He learns of the other riders that came before him, and they would team up together. Although this is only a special, Z-Cross is considered the 10th rider and often represented as a season retroactively. This special marks the final unhenshin appearance.
So, even though this was a special, was he just made for just a special? Oh wow, that's crazy. I don't know why he would do something like that. And present Super One actor gone missing. Wait, why is he missing? Happened about the 2010s. Oh wow. And this is crazy. Like, why would you do that to your fans? Like, also, like, okay, that doesn't even make sense. Why would the why would they want why would they want the belt? Like, when they, okay, I mean, I don't know, man. It's just like that's like a really like strange story to come up with. Like, oh, they stole it, but what would they want it for? Like, what purpose would they want a Kamen Rider production belt?
Of Shiro Kazumi, also known as Kamen Rider V3, Joji Yuki, also known as Riderman, and Kazuya Oki, also known as Kamen Rider Super 1. 1987 saw the release of one of the most popular and loved series in the history of the Kamen Rider franchise in Kamen Rider Black. This is a legendary entry,
Wait, it's worth a lot of money, you're saying? So the original production belt is like worth, let's say, over $1 billion? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was like worth that much money. I just thought like I don't know. I was just trying to figure out why he would like say something like that. I was just trying to figure out like why he would come up with a story that to me just kind of feels somewhat unbelievable. But then since you mentioned that, it does kind of feel believable. Or you can think if someone think value for them. Okay, yeah, yeah, I could see that. I could see comparing it to like that. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, people do go crazy for those kind of chords. So, especially with scalpers, have you ever like seen scalpers? So now I can see that from that perspective, yeah. But before that, before I knew about like it being worth that much money, I just thought it was like kind of crazy that he would just make up something like that. But now, since you say it's like worth a lot of money, okay, I can see that him coming up with that kind of story makes sense now.
by a dark tone, a gritty look, and a very emotional story. This show is a drama in the fullest sense. Black introduces us to Kotaro Minami, who is...
I like this suit design. I like the suit design for Black. I like this suit design. It's more kind of sleek, you could say.
Portrayed masterfully by Tetsuo Kurata, and he delivers a heavy and impactful performance where you're gonna feel the agony that he feels during his fight against Shadow Moon and the Gorgon. It was around this time that the look of Kamen Riders in general started to change a little bit. The helmets became a little less bulky, and the armor started looking a little more like armor instead of cloth. The aesthetics here and the tone would remain influential to future iterations of Kamen Rider for years to come. In 1988, after the success of Kamen Rider Black, the executives at Toei agreed to go ahead with a sequel entitled Kamen Rider Black RX. In this series, Minami Kotaro returns, and he refuses an offer to join the Crisis Empire. Because of this, he's thrown into the sun, where he would become Kamen Rider Black RX.
Wait, hold on. He was drawn to the actual sun. Well, in universe wise, he was drawn to the sun. For what? Did they hate him or something?
A little more like armor instead of cloth. The aesthetics here and the tone would remain influential to future iterations of Kamen Rider for years to come. In 1988, after the success of Kamen Rider Black, the executives at Toei agreed to go ahead with a sequel entitled Kamen Rider Black RX. In this series, Minami Kotaro returns, and he refuses an offer to join the Crisis Empire. Because of this, he's thrown into the sun, where he would become...
That makes sense now. That makes sense. He was... Okay. Because at first, I was like, why? But now I understand why. Because he refused to join forces with an evil organization.
Kamen Rider Black RX. This show is notable for featuring Rider-On, which was a red car instead of Kamen Rider's signature motorcycle, and this was also the first show to introduce form switching into the franchise officially.
Oh, I remember seeing this. And I think it was the first stream I did. I remember seeing this rider. I thought it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see like him take this type of form.
1992 was an absolutely packed year for the Kamen Rider franchise, featuring Shin Kamen Rider Prologue, a film celebrating the 20th anniversary of the.
Good question. What does the Shin mean? When you put Shin in the front of something, like for example, I watched Shin Godzilla. What does that mean? And I saw somewhere there's like a Shin Ultraman. What does that mean when you put Shin in front of something? I want to know because like I said, I've seen Shin Godzilla, and now there's Shin Kamen Rider, and I believe there's a Shin Ultraman out there, but I'm just trying to figure out what all that means.
Franchise. Because this was 20 years later, this film was meant to attract fans of the original series that had now grown into adults, and that's why the film was a lot darker and more violent. Our protagonist here is Shin Kazamatsuri, who is fused with grasshopper DNA against his will, leading him to fight against the Institute of Super Science, or ISS. Shotaro Ishinomori originally planned for him to be called Kamen Rider Gaia, with a more traditional look, but later on they changed this to Kamen Rider Shin and gave him a suit that was more biological and insect-like. Ishinomori himself even appears in this movie as a spy.
Which actually is a cool costume design. I actually like this. I like this, like the way it looks. Like it looks so, I like it. I like it very much. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of scary, and it's just. Oh, that's what it means. New or real? Yeah, this is actually. Yeah. By that definition, by it calling it new or real, this does feel like what you would imagine, a writer to look like, if we're going based on the whole. It started off like grasshopper theme. Like this is what I would imagine writers truly turning into. If that makes sense, what I'm saying.
Also in 1993, we had the release of Kamen Rider on the Super Famicom. This was a game based on the original Kamen Rider series, released 20 years after the show that it's based on. It was a beat-em-up style game, allowing two players to play as Kamen Rider Ichigo and Nigo respectively. This game made it possible for a new generation to experience the universe of the original Kamen Rider series, and you can even play it with a friend. Rounding out a huge 1993 was Ultraman vs. Kamen Rider, a TV special featuring mini clips and interviews with the people involved from both shows, where we have Kamen Rider growing into a giant to fight alongside Ultraman.
Okay, which Kamen Rider is this? This is like the first Kamen Rider? The original Kamen Rider, you would say? Or is this Kamen Rider 2? I didn't really pay attention to their suits to know the difference between Kamen Rider 1 and Kamen Rider 2. Because they both have kind of the same color theme, so I'm not sure if this is the first one or the second one.
This was a small project, but fans in 1993 welcomed it, and it kept the spirits of these legendary Toku characters alive and well.
Kamen Rider J!
1994 was the year of Kamen Rider J, the first rider to be able to grow into a giant. Koji Segawa is a photographer who is killed while attempting to protect his little sister named Kana. He's thrown over a cliff and Kana is captured. The Earth spirits resurrect Koji, and he becomes Kamen Rider J, who is assisted by his aide Barry. J is played by Yuta Mochizuki, who also played Geki in Zyuranger.
I know who Geki is. Hold on. Let's go back.
Project, but fans in 1993 welcomed it, and it kept the spirits of these legendary Toku characters.
You said Kamen Rider 1 and 2 have two or free suit for production with different colors? Okay. Thank you for telling me that.
Alive and well.
Kamen Rider J!
Okay, I like this suit design too. I like the color theme for this one.
1994 was the year of Kamen Rider J, the first rider to be able to grow into a giant. Koji Segawa is a photographer who is killed while attempting to protect his little sister named Kana. He's thrown over a cliff and Kana is captured. The Earth spirits resurrect Koji, and he becomes Kamen Rider J, who is assisted by his aide Barry. J is played by Yuta Mochizuki, who also played Geki in Zyuranger.
Oh wow. Okay, I had to run that back and listen to it again. So this is the same actor that played Geki, the Red Ranger in Zyuranger. Oh, that's so cool. Did he also? He's not only is he a ranger, he's also a Kamen Rider. That's pretty cool. And ASMR, you said Kamen Rider 1 and 2 early old suit is dark green helmet, and new suit have more light green helmet. Okay, so that's how you could tell the difference from old suit and new suit. Old suit is dark green helmet, new suit is light green helmet. Okay.
(1995) would live in infamy with Saban's Masked Rider, one of the largest blemishes on the resume of Kamen Rider.
I have traveled about.
I've never heard of the show that I know of, nor seen it. But which is actually kind of funny because I thought Saban never did a Kamen Rider theme show. But then I don't know. I guess to say that, cause I mean, forget to you, ASMR. I'm gonna say this. I don't think. Hold on. Let me put this to words. Because it's kind of like my first time hearing about this, about Saban doing it like a Kamen Rider theme show, which I know he did took a lot of Toku shows. Some were hit or miss, but I think the most one that was mostly popular was Power Rangers, which is based on Super Sentai. So I guess him trying to get as much Toku shows, I guess this one kind of fell through the cracks because it just probably wasn't as like popular. If I make it sense, like I don't, this one probably wasn't as popular. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I could see that Toei being angry at him because it's just like I said, this probably wasn't the most popular Saban show compared to like Power Rangers. And I think he also did VR Troopers. I don't think that was as popular. But your one you said Kamen Rider 1 used gray glove and gray boot, while Kamen Rider 2 uses red glove, red boot. Okay, so that's how you tell the difference. Kamen Rider 1 uses gray glove and gray boot, and Kamen Rider 2 uses red. Okay, I'll make sure to keep that as a note to remember whenever I see Kamen Rider 1, Kamen Rider 2, I can tell the difference. Okay, thank you.
Vast distance from the planet Edenoi.
Huh?
After the success of Power Rangers,
Exactly. Let's win that back. It's just what?
1995 would live in infamy with Saban's Masked Rider, one of the largest blemishes on the resume of Kamen Rider.
I have traveled a vast distance from the planet Edenoi.
Huh?
That's exactly how I feel right now.
After the success of Power Rangers during the 90s, Saban and Toei decided.
Yeah, he had told me that a while back about Metal Hero, which I will be doing a Metal Hero stream in the future. After this Kamen Rider stream, which again is an extension to my first Kamen Rider stream. My next one I do like this will be on Ultraman, and from Ultraman I'm gonna do like Metal Hero and like look at some like Henshin stuff, like Henshin clips, and then after that I'll probably do Godzilla. But today is just an extension of Kamen Rider, and then Ultraman, and then Metal Hero, with some stuff in between, because I see he has the Metal Hero video, which the Metal Hero video is kind of short, so I kind of want to make that stream a little longer. So I'll probably watch like clips of stuff, and the Godzilla one's like an hour long, so we're gonna be there for a long time. I heard Saban Mask Rider actor already passed away, and there wasn't no this news till someone dig about this. Oh wow, I'm sad to hear that. Like, dang, did he pass away recently, or was that years ago? He passed away.
Decided to team up in order to bring Kamen Rider to the English-speaking world. This resulted in what is widely considered to be one of the worst adaptations of all time. This show is about an alien named Dax from planet Edenoi who travels to Earth.
That plot sounds so stupid when you think about it. Like, couldn't they have come up with something much better? I just feel like they could have come up with something so much better than the ideal he comes from another planet.
Alongside his companion Furbus, who looks like a giant Furby, and he meets a family who are pretty much devoid of personality and acting skills.
Ectophase, activate!
They tried to shove Kamen Rider and a family sitcom together, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, they could have done something much better.
Unfortunate blemish to the legacy of Kamen Rider in the West.
Dang, that sucks. That sucks that he passed away with nobody remembering who he was. That's like the worst way to leave. You hate. Yeah, this is I'm kind of glad. I again, I don't remember this show, so thank goodness I didn't grow up watching this, or I never. This show looks like a mess. Not gonna lie, it just looks like a mess. Like it just, yeah. But to the actor who played Mask Rider, I mean, R.I.P. to him, and sad to see him go.
1998 saw the release of a Kamen Rider game on a brand new cutting-edge system, the PlayStation, allowing fans to experience the original Kamen Rider series all over again. This was a fighting game featuring characters and locations that fans of the original series would be really excited to see. The gameplay was nothing revolutionary here, but this was definitely.
These are the graphics for PlayStation 1? Wow. Jeez, the graphics are actually good for a PlayStation 1 game.
Definitely a noteworthy release in the history of Kamen Rider. 1998 was also a year that would go down as a sad one for Kamen Rider fans, as we lost Shotaro Ishinomori due to heart failure on January 28, 1998. It was unclear what would come of the Kamen Rider franchise with the loss of its creator and visionary. In 2000, Kamen Rider would return inside of the Heisei era with a new hero, a new legend.
Give me a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. You said. Oh, really? Okay. I gotta see that. And let me see. I was just thinking about this earlier. So Showa was like from the 70s all the way to 2000, and Heisei is 2000 all the way to what, 2019, and from 2019 it's the Weva era. So right now we're in the Weva era. It's based on the emperors, right? Like the emperors of the time.
In Kamen Rider Kuga, this was the first series in 11 years. The main protagonist in Kuga is Yusuke Godai, who finds an ancient artifact that allows him to become Kuga in order to battle the Gyorongi, or unidentified lifeforms. This was the final Kamen Rider season to feature only a single rider, as every season following Kuga would feature multiple riders. Kuga would also feature multiple forms that were different color swaps.
Honestly, if I continue like my continue watching Kamen Rider, I think I would stick with the Heisei Weva era Kamen Rider. I don't think I would like watch the Soa era Kamen Riders. Nothing against them. It's just like I would prefer watching like a more modern take of Kamen Rider, if that makes sense. Like I would probably just like stick with the Heisei until now. So I'll probably like watch those series. Again, nothing against the Showa era. I mean, without the Showa era, we wouldn't have Kamen Rider. But it's just like I would prefer like a more modern take of the series.
Swaps and featured different weapons. And this was also the first season to air alongside a Super Sentai.
And thank you for the sub, for whoever subbed. I didn't like see that. Let me see. I saw that I got a sub. It doesn't really tell me exactly who subbed, but whoever subbed, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to. My goal for subscribers is 100. So I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. So we're at 75. So we're fast approaching to hitting 100. So thank you. And check out all my other content while you're subscribed.
Sentai season on the same network, leading to Superhero Time. In 2001, Toei released a direct sequel to Kuga titled Kamen Rider Agito, and this show features 4 very different riders. Shoichi becomes Agito, a magic-based rider whose name is Latin for move or keep moving. Makoto becomes G3, a mechanical and technology-based rider who's based off of Kuga and actually puts a suit on. Ryo is Gills, a biological rider whose armor actually grows from his body.
Would that be painful? Hold on, let's go back.
Makoto becomes G3, a mechanical and technology-based rider who's based off of Kuga and actually puts a suit on. Ryo is Gills, a biological rider whose armor actually grows from his body.
Like, would that be painful though? When he like henshin? I would think that. Well, they did mention the other rider. Dang, I forgot this name already. Sorry guys, sometimes I might like lose track because there's like so much information, so I might forget like the names of all the writers. But also that one writer. Okay, let's go back. Let me find him. Because that doesn't he also this writer, Shin. Okay, the Shin writer. Isn't that the same as him? Like, aren't they both kind of the same? That they kind of like biologically henshin. And when you biologically henshin, doesn't that hurt? Wait, hold on. This reminds me. When they henshin, is it kind of like how werewolves transform? Like when you become a werewolf? I just thought about it just now. Just that thought just came to me because like, wouldn't it be just kind of like you becoming a werewolf, but instead of a werewolf, you become something like this? Because when you transfer into a werewolf, your body changes. Like like it would seem like your bones break and all that. So I would assume like the same thing would happen to you if you transform into something like this. Like your whole body, like probably your bones probably break, your body starts burning and all that. Just a thought just came to me.
Rider War, a winner-take-all competition where the victor will be granted a single wish. Yuki is known for having a very unique style, and this series has a lot of Japan. To showcase some of the most culturally significant manga in history and to educate people on an art form that Shotaro Ishinomori himself loved so much. Even though Shotaro was gone, his legacy was well remembered, and the franchise he created was headed in an exciting new direction. "2002 brought Kamen Rider Yuki, a very popular season, especially amongst fans that
Okay, so you pronounce it Yuki. You ain't pronouncing it Ryuki. So you just say Yuki. So you would drop the R, right? You would drop the R and just say Yuki. You wouldn't say Ryuki. Again, I'll say this. Japanese is not my first language, so I'm just learning. Right. You would drop the R, right? Drop the R and just say Yuki.
that enjoy having a lot of riders. Riders travel to the mirror world via reflective surfaces, and these riders compete in the Rider War, a winner-take-all competition where the victor will be granted a single wish.
Isn't that kind of what the somewhat kind of like gets again? Is it gets or gets? I learned that it's called Zetsu now, so I guess I'm gonna pronounce it Zetsu, but just gets kind of still trips me over because like I'm trying to get the pronunciation right. But isn't that kind of the same thing? Because like in that series, aren't all the writers trying to like get something at the end? Like they're trying to like accomplish something in a sense. Like it's only like only award to one writer.
Yuki is known for having a very unique style, and this series has a lot of cool attributes, like being the first season to use cards, and it was also the first season where writers had a device that activates and announces their abilities and attacks. This was also the first season to feature villain writers. It was around this time that the team at Toei started getting more experimental and creative with suit designs, as evidenced by the unique and elaborate helmet designs showcased within Yuki.
Yeah, I kind of like the more modern suit designs. I mean, I do like a couple of the older designs. A few I do like, but I do like the newer designs. That's why I say like if I continue like this path, I'll probably just watch the Heisei and Weiwa era Kamen Riders.
2003 was the year of Kamen Rider Phys, a show in which Smart Brain Org is trying to take over the world with Orphanox, who are the next stage of human evolution. They create 3 suits called Rider Gear, which are Phys, Delta, and Kaiza.
When it comes to Super Sentai, since I already started Zero Ranger, from that era to now, I'll watch as far as Sentai, because I grew up watching Mighty Morphin. I grew up watching all the shows that came after Mighty Morphin, so I'm familiar with those. So that's where I would start with Super Sentai. Starting from like Zero Ranger downward, as opposed to Zero Ranger, in the past, that came before. Because I don't really know this series. I didn't really watch those. I'm not familiar, but I am familiar with Zero Ranger because, again, that's what Mighty Morphin was adapted of. And every other Sentai after that was adapted here in the States. So I'm familiar with like the suit designs and stuff. But I know the stories are completely different, which is fine. Yeah. Just, something to let you guys know. Where I kind of stand as far as like what shows I would be interested in watching.
Our main protagonist in this series is Takumi.
Like I said, when it comes to Super Sentai, it's more familiarity, and Kamen Rider is more like the modern, sense of like Kamen Rider.
Who, along with his allies, would fight against Smart Brain to prevent them from replacing the world with Orphanox. Phys brought with it a dark, quality story with excellent acting and explosive action, and 2003 was another great year for Kamen Rider. In 2004 saw the release of Kamen Rider Blade, a playing card themed season featuring multiple riders that represented different suits from the card deck. Our main protagonist is Kazuma, who becomes Kamen Rider Blade after being ordered, along with Sakuya, by Board to fight against creatures called Undead. This series featured some really cool riders, including Garen, Chalice, Liango, and of course Blade himself. The show featured 2 intros, and the second intro looks cool, and you could tell their focus was just on making it look cool for the audience. But the first intro is genuinely hilarious to me, and it's really unique in its weirdness. Kick that napkin. Kick it. This was the first season to have 2 intros since Skyrider. In 2005, Toei released Kamen Rider Hibiki. This show wasn't even originally designed to be a Kamen Rider series.
Yeah, I remember seeing this one. Isn't this the one where he's like on top of like, was it a spider or some type of bug? He was on top of it and he's like beating on it like as like a drum. I remember seeing this. I didn't see it serious. I remember seeing like this in my first Kamen Rider stream I did when we were like looking at I think it was like Kamen Rider Henshins or something.
And in pre-production, many different...
Because that stream, I remember, I think we just watched like Henshins. We didn't really like watch like any lore or anything.
Different themes were tossed around, including ninjas and yokai, but when Bandai demanded that the Kamen Rider name be attached to the project in order to sell more toys, the original themes would be dropped, and the character would become an Oni-themed Kamen Rider. By episode 29, chief producer Shigenori Taketera was fired, and this was unofficially attributed to low ratings and low toy sales. After the firing, there was a visible tone shift on the show, and it began to resemble a more traditional Kamen Rider series. Hibiki introduced a lot of unique things into the franchise, including the fact that there are no belts to Henshin, and this is the only series with an instrumental theme.
Kamen Rider, the first.
2005 would continue with Kamen Rider the First. Kamen Rider the First was a modern-day reimagining of Shotaro Ishinomori's classic original series. This movie took some liberties in regards to story, but ultimately serves as a creative and well-made Kamen Rider project that shows a lot of love and respect for the original series. 2006 was an important year for Kamen Rider, as we would be introduced to the very first HD Kamen Rider series in Kamen Rider Kabuto. This series takes place 7 years after a meteorite hit Shibuya and shape-shifting creatures known as worms emerged from the disaster. This show added a cast-off feature, giving a unique external layer of armor over the rider's base armor, something completely fresh and new to the franchise. This show is notable for having a lot of unique riders with varied story arcs. The main protagonist is named Soji, and he's very unique within the franchise due to being extremely arrogant most of the time.
Amazing! Good!
Kabuto is also very unique due to its food and culinary focus. 2007 would bring with it an absolute cultural phenomenon within Japan in Kamen Rider Den-O. Ryotaro is a huge wimp until he's possessed by the Taros, because they imbue their own personality unto him and even change his non-henshin look. Ryotaro travels
They just like possess the guy. Okay.
with Hana and the Taros through time on the Den liner to fight against evil Imagines, and they also encounter Kamen Rider Zeronos. Takeru Sato, who plays Ryotaro, claims that the reason for the show's success was the comedic timing. Because the show was so successful, it would lead to a mountain of revenue for Toei and more crossovers than any other Kamen Rider series in history. Following on the heels of Kamen Rider the First, 2007 would continue the anniversary celebration that the first started with the release of Kamen Rider the Next, a reimagining of Kamen Rider V3 with a much darker and more intense tone featuring horror themes. Like the Next, this movie introduced these characters to a new generation and put them in an interesting premise set in the Heisei era. Tsuburaya Productions actually helped with visual effects for this movie, and they are of course known for being the makers of Ultraman.
I'll be right back, guys. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm back. This is the vampire one. I remember seeing this one.
2008 was the year that Kamen Rider would take on a campy vampire theme with Kamen Rider Kiba.
Wait, 2008? Let me see. What's this? Were they trying to like market because of Twilight? You know, isn't this the same time around Twilight came out? So they're like, oh, since Twilight's so popular, let's have our own like vampire theme. I just feel like that's what they were trying to go for, like, you know, because the success of Twilight, I would assume like at that time, I think everyone would like want to get on the vampire craze. You know, because it was actually trendy. Like vampires were very trendy around this time because Twilight, like the resurgence of like of vampires. So I could see them trying to like hop on that trend.
Tagline for this series was "Wake Up, Break the Chains of Destiny." This show takes place across two time frames simultaneously, being 1986 and 2008, allowing the audience to experience the cause and effect of certain story beats. Our soft-spoken protagonist is Wataru, an introvert who's a human and Fangire hybrid, and this is actually a huge part of the plot, where we would explore Wataru's family history and his place within the hierarchy of the Fangire species. This show introduced some really unique elements to the franchise, featuring Wataru's ghostly allies called the Arms Monsters, who provide Kiva with power-ups and live in a building that turns into a dragon. This show also introduced us to Kibat, a bat that bites Wataru's hand to facilitate his henshin. Although Kiva failed to achieve the same levels of success as Deno, this show introduced fans to some fresh and interesting new things that had never been seen before within the Kamen Rider franchise. Going into 2009, no Rider fan knew just how huge it would end up being, with several awesome projects to keep the fanbase happy. One of
I love this color design. I love this color design.
which was Kamen Rider G, a TV special meant to celebrate the 50th anniversary of TV Asahi, as well as promote Kamen Rider Decade. This special followed Goro, a sommelier who henshins into Kamen Rider G as he takes on the organization Shade. Kamen Rider G is a wine-themed rider who literally uses a wine bottle and corkscrew to henshin, and he—
Sorry, I was muted. I was saying this, I could tell based on his belt that it was a wine-themed Kamen Rider. Just by looking at his belt, I could tell.
even has a sword with a corkscrew attached to it. This special is often overlooked, but it brought the fandom something incredibly unique with a wine-themed rider, and was just one part of what would be a great year for Kamen Rider. In 2009, we of course got Kamen Rider Decade, an anniversary season celebrating 10 years of the Heisei era. This show had two catchphrases. One is connect everything by destroying everything, and Heisei Rider 10 years early. Although the show only had 31 episodes, it was stuffed full of fan service and was focused primarily on making longtime fans happy. This show exists amongst the larger Riderverse, where our main protagonist named Tsukasa, also known as the Destroyer of Worlds, henshins into Kamen Rider Decade, and he travels to the universes of other Heisei-era riders as they are converging into one. He can even henshin into other riders from the Heisei era. Although Decade was a shorter season, the impact of the show was undeniable, as Decade would be featured in many crossover projects over the years. 2009 also brought a huge team-up movie in Kamen Rider Decade, All Riders vs. Daishocker. This project served as the official movie adaptation of Decade that gave the audience some additional context about Tsukasa and featured a team-up of every rider from the history of the franchise up to this point. In addition to all of the henshin riders throughout history, this movie also featured the nostalgic appearances of Tetsuo Kurata as Kotaro Minami, or Kamen Rider Black, and Toshiki Kashu as Shoichi Sugami, or Kamen Rider Faiz, as well as tons of classic villains from the franchise. When this movie released in theaters, it actually beat Harry Potter in the box office, earning over 2 billion yen, making it—
Oh wow, wait, so it beat Harry Potter like in Japan? I was assuming that was only in Japan. It beat Harry Potter. Wow, so I guess people want to see Kamen Rider instead of watching Harry Potter. Okay. Wow, so that's how popular Kamen Rider is. That people would rather watch Kamen Rider over Harry Potter. There's nothing's wrong with that. I'm just like, I didn't know that. It's a really interesting fact. Was really interesting.
a huge success for Toei commercially and a memorable part of 2009.
Pretty sure Toei was very proud of that day. You know, to see the numbers to see those numbers. I'm pretty sure they were like really like stoked.
Also in 2009, Kamen Rider would have another chance at winning over Western fans with a new American adaptation titled Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Using footage from Kamen Rider Yuki, this show aired on the CW television network during its...
Okay, ASMR, you did mention that. You said CW that do the flash. Honestly, I didn't even know about this. Thank you for telling me this, ASMR. I never heard of this. Then again, I probably wasn't watching CW at this time, so I wouldn't know because I wasn't watching CW on this time. So, wow. Like I said, guys, this stream is just a fun, chill stream. Nothing to be taken too seriously, but it's just to learn to fill in some gaps and just having a good time. That's all it is. Just having a good time. So, yeah, again, this is just, fun, chill stream. Just filling in gaps, learning things that I didn't know of, and, just for you guys. And most of the things I learned is from y'all anyway, so you guys tell me a lot of stuff I learned from y'all, so.
2 billion yen, making it a huge success for Toei commercially and a memorable part of 2009. Also in 2009, Kamen Rider would have another chance at winning over Western fans with a new American adaptation titled Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Using footage from Kamen Rider Yuki, this show aired on the CW television network during its CW for Kids programming block, but it was ultimately cancelled before the final 2 episodes aired on TV.
Kamen Rider.
I wonder why. Is that? And again, I wasn't watching CW around this time, so I wouldn't know about this. Like, this is something so new. Cause in 2009 this came out. Yeah, I wasn't watching CW in 2009. I don't know what was I doing in 2009. Had to be about what, 13, 14. Yeah, I think at that point I kind of like stopped watching anything you would say Toko related around that time, because I was like a teenager and I was like getting to more into her stuff. So I probably, I wasn't paying attention to this.
Producer Aki Komine convinced Toei to let him make a pilot for an American adaptation of Kamen Rider in the same style of Power Rangers, and ultimately Ryuki was chosen for the adaptation due to the large quantity of riders and the fact that Ryuki has a female rider. Despite the show's cancellation...
See, this is what Saban should have done when he did Mask Rider. Like, he should have just based it... I feel like Toei would have been like, okay, they would have agreed to this. They would have like gave the okay. I don't know what the heck Saban was on when he made Mask Rider, like making it like a family sitcom. It shouldn't have never been a family sitcom to begin with. It should have just been like, on the back end of Power Rangers or something. Could have made it more like a more dramatic, more drama show, like a little bit more serious tones and like, themes. Not like family sitcom. Like, you could have targeted to like teenagers or something, which I'm pretty sure the show was in a way. I don't remember this show being marketed. Like, I swear I don't remember ever hearing about Dragon Knight. So this is like very new to me.
And Dragon Knight actually won a Daytime Emmy Award for stunt coordination, and it's remembered mostly positively by the community.
Kamen Rider! Climax Heroes!
There was also a Kamen Rider game released in 2009 that would lead to quite a few sequels and spin-offs, Kamen Rider Climax.
Okay, give me a minute. I'll be right back. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. Okay, I'm back.
Heroes on PlayStation 2. This was a Kamen Rider fighting game commemorating 10 years of the Heisei era and featuring all of the primary Heisei riders up to this point. This game series has become extremely popular in the fandom, and it was another thing that made 2009 such an awesome year for Kamen Rider. But it wouldn't be the last. Also releasing in 2009, a fresh take on the Kamen Rider formula, Double is a detective show featuring two people that share the same rider body, hence the name Double. The catchphrase.
Okay, first off, okay, it kind of makes sense with the whole jazz music. I was like trying to figure out why is it like, what's that, like, what's with the jazz? Kind of makes sense. And two, isn't that kind of, again, Zetsu? If I pronounce it right, Kamen Rider Zetsu. Isn't that kind of like, well, I don't think he's like a detective. I think he's like more of like a James Bond type of guy. But I don't know. I just thought in somewhere in that realm of things. But I remember seeing this
Phrases for the show were
again back in my first Kamen Rider stream. Again, this is an extension to the first stream.
"We are the 2-in-1 Kamen Rider, and this clinches it." Kamen Rider Double uses Gaia memory sticks to swap left and right side forms that also provide him with different color combinations. Shotaro is what I like to call a detective's detective. He considers himself hard-boiled, although he gets called half-boiled through a lot of the show, something he's not a huge fan of. He's one stylish dude, and his surname Hidari means left, as he becomes the left side of Double's body. He constantly struggles to live up to his dead mentor's legacy, whose daughter Akiko becomes his landlady, and she has the personality of a young child.
サイクロン
それってガイアメモリー？
Then we have Philip. He's the right side, and he searches for useful information and does a lot of research involving keywords to solve cases. He's definitely not what he seems, and his story has an excellent twist. Kamen Rider Double featured some excellent lead protagonists.
Philip, right? Let's go back to the beginning.
Kamen Rider, and this clinches it. Kamen Rider Double Era, and featuring all of the primary Heisei riders up to this point. This game series has become extremely popular in the fandom, and it was another thing that made 2009 such an awesome year for Kamen Rider, but it wouldn't be the last. Also releasing in 2009, a fresh take on the Kamen Rider formula, Double is a detective show featuring two people that share the same rider body, hence the name Double.
This person right here, right? This is Philip? This is a guy, right? I thought this was a girl. When I first saw this back in my first extension, I mean, not my first stream of like doing like Kamen Rider, I thought this was a girl. This is a guy? No offense to anybody. I'm just like I didn't know. I genuinely didn't know. I thought this was like actual female. Oh. I learned something new.
The catchphrases for this show were, "We are the 2-in-1 Kamen Rider," and
That's so funny. Pretty look boy. Okay. So he's like, I guess you could say femboy.
2010 brought us Eiji, also known as Kamen Rider Os, a nomad with a tragic past who dresses like a hobo and
What?
into the franchise. "2010 brought us Eiji, also known as Kamen Rider Os, a nomad with a tragic past who dresses like a hobo and has a not
Dresses like a hobo? That's hilarious. Give me a moment, guys. Just give me a moment. I'll be right back. Give me about like less than a minute or two. I'm just like take care of some stuff. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for like pausing. I had a delivery just came by, so I had to like put my stuff up because I had just got a delivery. So that's what I did. Like my stopped. And thank you for the sub. I got 76 now. Dang, we're going up. Again, the goal is to reach 100 subs. So thank you for the sub. But yeah, let's get back to this. Because I think that's hilarious. I think this is more like, I guess you could say this is more like a comedy in the sense of for a Kamen Rider show.
This, it was always Masked Rider. Double will always be remembered as a cool, fresh, and well-written entry into the franchise.
I just think this is hilarious. I just think this is like very hilarious.
2010 brought us Eiji, also known as Kamen Rider Oz, a nomad with a tragic past who dresses like a hobo and has a...
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why does he just dress like a hobo? I mean, I understand he's a nomad, but it's just hilarious that this writer just like a hobo. I think that's hilarious.
not so secret obsession with underwear.
Huh? So, just any underwear, or is it a type of underwear? Like, doesn't matter what gender it is, or it's just I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure where we're going with this, huh? Where we're going with this? Like, does he just have like a thing for underwear? Like again, where we're going with this? We're going like, does he like just as far as like underwear as like it being like clothes, like for the fashion, like he likes it for the fashion, or is it more like sexual? You know what I mean? Like where we're going with this? Where we're going with this?
Underwear.
Yeah, that's the type of face I would make too if I see a guy looking at underwear. I'll make this type of face too. This would be my reaction as well.
Eiji encounters Ankh, the arm of a greed, which is a creature made of metals that feed on the desires of humans, played by Ryosuke Miura, who also played on a show called Caesar X, and the charisma and the interactions between Eiji and Ankh would be a standout of the season. Our two leads encounter Kogami-san, who assists them by providing various resources and equipment, but clearly he has ulterior motives, and this guy also loves to say, "Happy birthday." Kamen Rider
Hold on, let me go back to that guy. He looks... This is what I'm going to say about him.
leads encounter Kogami-san, who assists them by providing
He looks like an evil businessman or politician. I don't know, like, what's his role exactly in the show, but he just gives off like a evil businessman or politician that works in the underbelly or the underground of society or something.
Resources and equipment, but clearly he has ulterior motives, and this guy also loves to say
Happy birthday.
Kamen Rider Oz also features Kamen Rider Bird.
Macro Satsu. Is that the name of the channel? Let me look that up real quick. Macro Satsu. Okay, give me a minute. This the first one. The introduction to Kamen Rider, the first one. Um. Okay. Well, I'm gonna just put it off to the side. Let's see. I would watch this one, but probably another time. Probably watch this another time. Okay, I see it. Uh, I'm just looking. I'm looking at some of these videos. History of Heisei. I'll probably look into it. Some more of his videos. I'm gonna subscribe to the channel. I'll probably check it out. Maybe in the future. But let me get back to this one. If I already known about his channel, I'll probably start off with his. But since I'm already here, you know, I want to finish watching this video on this channel.
Earth, an incredibly unique rider with multiple users who's themed around capsule toys. One thing that's really unique about Oz is that he's able to mix and match metals to combine different forms, but he becomes really cool and powerful when he combines 3 of the same type, like Tajador. This show was critically and commercially successful, and Oz would continue the streak of excellent Kamen Rider seasons at the time. 2011 would see the release of a huge team-up movie in Oz, Dino, All Riders, Let's Go Kamen Riders. This movie of course featured Oz and Dino, but it also featured the double riders of the original Kamen Rider series, plus all of the other riders throughout history. Serving as a celebration commemorating the 40th anniversary of the franchise and the 60th anniversary of Toei Company, this serving as a celebration.
That's so early 2010s, like so early. You could tell like this is like so early 2010s. Like the hairstyle, the way he's dressed is so early 2010s.
Celebration commemorating the 40th anniversary of the franchise and the 60th anniversary of Toei Company, this movie continued the tradition of fan service and crossovers within the franchise. The fandom was also treated to some nostalgic appearances from other non-Rider Toku characters like Kikaider, Inazuman, and Zubat, and a cool new form from Oz using the Imogen and Shocker medals. Appropriately, the catchphrase for the movie is "Oh the world, these are Japan's heroes," due to the large amount of legendary heroes featured here, and this movie served as a great showcase of the Kamen Rider franchise to new fans. Later on in
I remember seeing this one too.
2011, we were introduced to one of the most unique and fresh Kamen Rider seasons of all time in Kamen Rider Foze.
Kamen Rider Foze!
A 40th anniversary project themed around space and centered around the Kamen Rider Club.
That would make sense why his helmet looks like this. I was thinking more like a bullet, but since you said space, I could see that his helmet's like a spaceship. Okay, because he looks totally different than compared to other riders.
Of Amanogawa High School. Our main protagonist is Gintaro, an eccentric and charismatic new student who recently transferred and is determined to be everyone's friend. Yuki.
Is there a reason why he's kind of dressed like a stereotypical delinquent? You know, like those like delinquent kids in anime. Is there a reason why he's
a 40th
like,
anniversary project themed around space and centered around the Kamen Rider Club of Amanogawa High School. Our main protagonist is Gintaro, an eccentric and charismatic new student who recently transferred and is determined to be everyone.
He just looks like a stereotypical delinquent kid. So I'm trying to figure out, is there like a reason why they went with that style for this character? I guess because he's trying to like be cool, like trying to like make an impression with everybody. So he is trying. He is a new student, and he's trying to make friends. Like I guess I can see that like that. There is another Toko YouTuber named Lambo Clarisian about the lore of Rider Gear, Belt Driver. Even though now he stopped making style lore video, and now talk about cool moment and like come right. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do another stream where we just do a hodgepodge of stuff. Or actually, we just like watch a hodgepodge, which would be like the hodgepodge would be the Metal Hero stream. Metal Hero would be like the hodgepodge, which I like watch different things. So I'll probably keep that in consideration. Thank you for mentioning that.
His friend.
Because after this video, I do want to like watch the female henshins and villain henshins. I believe that's what they're called, the female and villain henshins. Because I've seen the Kamen Rider henshins already. I've seen like how all the riders henshin, but I never seen like the females or villains.
Miki is Gintaro's childhood friend, and she is just as quirky and fun on screen as Gintaro, making for an excellent cast that portray their characters with enthusiasm. This season took a lot of risks in regard to theming and style, but it resulted in a very memorable season that was consistently entertaining and really fun in general.
Nintendo DS に集結1号からオーズまで全てのライダーが登場
Also released in 2011 was the game All Kamen Rider Rider Generation for the Nintendo DS system. This was a fun arcade-style beat-em-up game that also received a sequel later.
Really? He is? I like Kill la Kill. Huh. I learned something new today. I didn't know he was the writer for Kill la Kill. Wait, is he the... Wait, was Kill la Kill ever a manga? Or was it just a TV series? But either way, I mean, that's pretty cool.
In 2012, the franchise would go in yet another new direction with Wizard, a magic and fantasy-themed Rider season with quite a bit of comedy and charm added on top of the Kamen Rider formula. The main protagonist for this season is named Haruto, and he uses rings of different elements to hench into Kamen Rider Wizard. This series also featured an incredibly likable secondary hero with a cool suit in the mayonnaise-obsessed Kosuke, also known as Kamen Rider Beast. This season also features a lot of quirky comedy, mostly delivered by Shunpei. Although this series didn't quite reach the same height as the previous few seasons, Wizard's uniqueness created new possibilities for what could be featured in Kamen Rider. 2012 also marked the 10th anniversary of TV Asahi's Superhero Time TV block, and to celebrate, Toei released
Gurren Lagann 2? Love Gurren Lagann. It's one of my favorite animes. I actually have a video, I think, whenever I get back into doing reactions. This reaction stream I'm doing is just based on Tokusatsu, based on Kamen Rider, but lately on stream I've been playing Resident Evil, so I've been like focusing on Resident Evil. So I've been like doing like reactions, like other reactions, but I do have a video talking about Gurren Lagann that I want to check out in the future whenever I get back into doing reactions on stream.
Kamen Rider and Super Sentai Superhero Tyson.
I just remember that I do have like a video on Gurren Lagann. I don't remember what I think it's maybe the philosophy or something of Gurren Lagann. I think the video is called. I'm going to check it out in the future.
A crossover film featuring the company's two most famous franchises. This movie focuses primarily on Decade, Foze, Oz, Go-Busters, and Go-Kaiger, but the vast majority of riders and rangers throughout history are featured here. In this film, Captain Marvelous leads the Dai Zangyak fleet against all Kamen Riders, while Kamen Rider Decade leads Dai Shocker against all Sentais. This movie brought the stakes and intrigue of a heavyweight fight to the big screen and a love letter to both Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. 2013 would continue the trend of wild and fresh ideas being implemented into the Kamen Rider formula with a much-loved and very unique season, Kamen Rider Gaim. This show features dancing fruit samurai, which might sound childish on surface level.
I can see that because like when they showed it's called a title card, right? That it had like a samurai type of styles. I could see that.
But this show actually has a surprisingly dark tone at times, with a lot of depth and weight to the story. In the universe of Gaim, reality has become almost unbearably hard and depressing for most people, so dance troupes are formed to liven up the community, and one of these troupes is called Gaim. Kota is our main protagonist who becomes Kamen Rider Gaim, and he displays a charisma and relatability that makes it very easy to root for him. This show was another treat for fans of Rider vs. Rider battles and infighting, and Gaim is generally remembered very fondly by most of the community, and it would be impossible to tell the story of Kamen Rider without Gaim.
みんな行くぞやるぜ飛びな
2013 would also deliver another fun-filled and action-packed team-up movie in Kamen Rider and Super Sentai and Space Sheriff Superhero Tyson Zeto. This was a sequel to the Superhero Tyson movie with the new addition of the Metal Heroes franchise.
到着
This movie features heroes from the three major Toei franchises on screen together to fight against the emerging Space Shocker, in a thrilling and nostalgic celebration of Kamen Rider and all of Toei.
Oh, interesting. Magical Modica? Yeah. That's really cool. That's really cool that some of these Kamen Riders are also writers for anime. That's pretty cool. It overlaps. It's pretty cool.
Kamen Rider
I like Magical Modica or Modoka. I like Magical Modoka.
勝って仮面ライダー
In 2013, Toei and Bandai Namco released a game titled Kamen Rider Bat-Ride War for the PlayStation 3. This game is considered a hack-and-slash style game and features every Heisei rider up until Wizard. This game lets you take on large groups of enemies at a time during battle scenarios designed to make you feel like a powerful Kamen Rider. The success of this game would lead to several sequels over the years. 2014 would see the release of Kamen Rider Drive, a car and police-focused season. Shinsuke is an officer that was demoted into the Special Investigation Division, where he investigates slowdown and fight against the Roid Mutes. He henshins into Kamen Rider Drive using Belto-san and drives around in a stylish red car. Takahito Omori, one of the producers of the show, called it a tribute to Knight Rider, a car-focused show from the 1980s.
Type speed.
The theme song for this season is sung by Mitsuru Matsuoka, who also played Kamen Rider Eternal in Double. Drive was a well-written and much-liked season that added to the Kamen Rider legacy in a positive way and kept the fandom entertained in 2014. 2015 was a bit of a slow year for Kamen Rider, with the only project of note being Kamen Rider Ghost. This series used themes revolving around the afterlife as our main protagonist Takeru searches for the icons that will prevent his permanent death. The suit designs of the season feature bold colors, elaborate helmet ornamentation, and hoodies, a look that I appreciate even today. 2016 saw the introduction of one of the most bold, colorful, and fun Rider series of all time in Kamen Rider Ex-Aid. Celebrating the 45th anniversary of Kamen Rider, this is a show that takes place mostly in a hospital and focuses on a group of gaming doctors that battle against the Bugsters. This cast is loaded with charm and personality, especially our main protagonist Emu.
I'm a Kamen Rider.
The suits have a really unique anime look and almost
That's so funny the way he said that. I am Kamen Rider.
Celebrating the 45th anniversary of Kamen Rider, this is a show that takes place mostly in a hospital and focuses on a group of gaming doctors that battle against the Bugsters. This cast is loaded with charm and personality, especially our main protagonist Emu.
I'm a Kamen Rider.
The suits
That's still funny. Also, this one kind of reminds me of Akiba Ranger a little bit. It kind of reminds me like the style of Akiba Ranger.
have a really unique anime look, and almost everything has a look that you could perhaps best describe as.
So it kind of does remind me of Gundam SD. You guys remember Gundam SD? Ever seen Gundam SD? Hold on, give me a moment. It kind of reminds me of this. The writer kind of reminds me of like the Gundam SD. If I'm not mistaken, there used to be like an anime for this back in the day. I remember watching this like on Toonami.
Being part anime and part retro gaming. It might sound like a strange combination, but it works really well, and the aesthetic of X-Aid makes the show an incredibly memorable entry into the franchise. In 2016, the Kamen Rider fandom was also treated to a new Rider series for adults, called Amazons, based on the classic Kamen Rider Amazon, and streaming on Amazon Prime Video. This show featured a distinctively more violent style compared with the mainline series, something that this show
I remember when I first saw like clips of this, also, it was like very gruesome, very violent. When I first like saw the clips of this writer.
shares with the original. In fact, there's a lot of things from this show that I just can't show you on YouTube, because if I did, Kane Janai. This show featured only 12 episodes, but would get renewed for a second season. This series brought new attention to the classic Kamen Rider Amazon series, as well as attention to the Kamen Rider franchise as a whole, due to how prevalent Amazon Prime Video is throughout the world. – 2017 saw the debut of a cool new science and math themed rider in Kamen Rider Build. After an item called the Pandora's Box was discovered on Mars, there was an event called the Skywall disaster that split Japan into 3 warring territories, Toto, Hokuto, and Seto, and this also created monsters called Smash. In order to deal with the fallout of this event and to defeat Smash, the Toto government enlists help from our main protagonist, Sento. Sento is unquestionably a genius who hinges into Kamen Rider Build.
This? That's alright. I understand. But this is what you're talking about? I can see this being in Fortnite. It's kind of funny how Fortnite they should do like a collab with Kamen Rider. Nah, think about it. They should. I mean, they did Power Rangers, which is again an adaptation of Super Sentai. I could see them doing Kamen Rider. But yeah, why did he? It's kind of short. Kind of looks like Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory, like the way he's built. Doesn't he? Doesn't he kind of like, in a way, kind of built like this? Well, this one kind of does remind me of Dexter. This one. The behind. Like this. Well, it's mostly the side, but okay. Let's get back to the video.
This series also features Ryuga, also known as Crossy, as a captivating secondary rider with a well-written story throughout the world. With a well-written story, as well as Ivorto, an alien that wants to assimilate all of humanity. Due to Build's unique world building, interesting characters, and great story, this show has remained as one of the most loved and well-remembered series in Kamen Rider history. 2018 brought us the final season of the Heisei era and the first anniversary season since Decade 10 years prior in Kamen Rider Zio. This year's show is themed around time and time travel. Our main protagonist Sogo is destined to become Oma King Zio, a ruthless tyrant of the future. To prevent this, Gaze goes back in time to kill Zio, but a woman named Tsukuyomi has also gone back to protect Sogo. As this is a
Conflict of interest, I see.
an anniversary season, we're treated to a lot of throwback riders and various crossovers that longtime fans will appreciate, including grotesque versions of the riders that oppose our heroes. Gio was a love letter of a season written to the Kamen Rider franchise as a whole. Before the Heisei era officially came to a close, Toei released Heisei Generations Forever, a huge celebration of the entire Heisei era meant to appeal to fans both young and old. This movie is stuffed with fan service related to every one of the Heisei riders, and they each get a healthy amount of time to shine. The entirety of the Heisei era leads up to this point in a triumphant and thrilling climax, and this project marks the final Rider project before the next era. "2019 brought with it the Reiwa era and Kamen Rider 01. This show follows Aruto Hiden, who is a comedian that inherits a company called Hiden Intelligence from his grandfather. Hiden Intelligence makes Humagears, which are AI-powered robots that resemble humans.
I think this was the first Kamen Rider I saw. I never watched, but I saw I was on YouTube one day and I just came across this. But I didn't know it was Kamen Rider. Give me a moment, I'll be right back. sorry about that. I'm back now.
Eventually, Aruto encounters MetsubouJinrai.net, who are rogue Humagears led by Kamen Rider Horobi, and they intend to bring about the extinction of humans by hacking and corrupting other Humagears.
私は技術顧問の刃優愛。そして捜査官の
不破勇だ。
This show features Yaiba and Fua from the organization AIMS, also known as Kamen Riders Valkyrie and Vulcan, and their goals aren't always the same as Aruto's, or even each other's, leading to a really interesting story with explosive conflict. This show asks if AI is a good or bad thing, a question that's increasingly more relevant in today's world, and we would come to discover that there isn't necessarily a clear black and white answer to this. Zero One featured a collection of amazingly detailed and dynamic-looking suit designs, as well as action that I consider very anime-like in general. This is a season that's a treat for the eyes. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, the production of this series was cut short toward the end, resulting in a rushed final act of Zero One and a change in tone for the next franchise entry. In 2020, after the pandemic, with Zero One's production being cut short and most people staying at home, it was decided that the next Kamen Rider season would have a warmer and more lighthearted tone. This resulted in 2020's Kamen Rider Saber, a fun and whimsical take on the Kamen Rider formula that features a more lighthearted tone and even an outro dance number, which was a first of the franchise. Our main protagonist is a novelist named Toma, who was quite possibly the most stylish rider since Shotaro Hidari of Kamen Rider Double. 2020 was a year where the fans needed some lighthearted fun in their life, and Saber delivered on that.
これが仮面ライダーの本当の力。
In 2020, we were also treated to a brand new Kamen Rider game for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch called Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes. This game features Zero One teaming up with Double and O's in an original new Kamen Rider adventure that allowed fans to henshin, fight bosses, and switch between the awesome forms that these riders possess. Players could acquire new abilities from the enemies they defeat as well as upgrade their stats. Despite the pandemic, Kamen Rider was alive and well in 2020. Going into early 2021, we got Saber and Zenkaiger Superhero Senki, a crossover movie project between Saber and Zenkaiger to celebrate Kamen Rider's 50th anniversary and Super Sentai's 45th anniversary. The catchphrase for this movie is straightforward heroes half of the century. During the events of the movie,
Here's my question. Like, okay, when they do stuff like this, oh, people didn't like it when it was airing? And let's see. I mean, coming off the backs of Zero One, I could see that. You know, the rush production of Zero One and transitioning to Saber, and you get this. It's like, yeah, I can see that happening. But yeah, my question is, when they do stuff like this, is this like the original actors in the suit, or is this like different actors in the suit? Like, I kind of want to know, like, do they get like the old actors and bring them back to be in their suits, or like it's just like extras, like background actors, like this, like one-off actors that just be part of the, like, just wear the suits.
movie, riders end up in the Zen.
But again, Victory, back again, what you're saying, yeah, I could see that, like, again, you're watching Zero One, and with the rush production, and you transition to Saber, and you get that, it's like, I could see, like, people being mad.
Zenkai world, and the Zenkaigers, other than Jiran, end up in the Saber world, and eventually they team up together as you would expect. This movie served as an excellent anniversary celebration for fans of both franchises. Franchise, as well as some unique color choices for the riders, and the unique aspects of the show make it memorable within the history of Kamen Rider.
Fight!
2022 brought with it an absolute banger of a Kamen Rider season in Kamen Rider Geats. This series...
Okay, it's pronounced Geats. Okay, let's go back. Let me hear that pronunciation again. But that's the writer I'm on. I'm watching that, and I guess you would call it Setsu.
It's the Dead Man's. Revice brought a new style and vibe into the franchise, as well as some unique color choices for the riders. And the unique aspects of the show make it memorable within the history of Kamen Rider.
Fight!
2022 brought with it an absolute banger of a Kamen Rider season in Kamen Rider Geats. This series...
Okay, Kamen Rider Geats. Okay, got it. This is the one I'm watching. I have the reaction up on my channel. Guys, let me know if you guys want to see episode 2 of Geats and Setsu. Let me know if you guys want to see episode 2 of my reaction of both shows. I'll probably do that sometime next week or whenever. But let me know if you want to see like my episode 2 reaction of that. I mean, by the views and by the comments, I'm assuming you guys want to see it, but I just want to know from y'all's you know, if y'all really truly want to see it though. Like, cause I just did a one-off. Usually I do double feature episodes, but I just did a one-off episode, just episode 1. So if you really want to see episode 2, let me know. And you said, I think Toei just grab random actor to play. Okay, so just grab like random actors. Okay, I see. But yeah, I am currently doing a reaction series of Geats, if I'm pronouncing that right, Geats, and Setsu, if I'm pronouncing that right.
This focuses on a battle royale with supporters and organizers.
Those are the Kamen Riders I'm currently you know, reacting to and watching. And as for Sentai, I'm watching Gaia Ranger, and I'm looking to watching Car Ranger in the future.
From the future called the Desire Grand Prix. The winner of this battle royale will have their deepest desire granted to them, so the stakes are really high and the conflict is really interesting. Our main protagonist is Ace Yukio, who is the definition of being cool. We also have the famous social media star Neon, also known as Nago, who has a really great story arc and she's very easy to root for. And then we have Keiwa, a happy-go-lucky character that goes through an intense story arc that turns him into a vengeful force of nature. This entry into the Kamen Rider franchise featured a great story, a great cast, and superb action scenes. Geats was so successful that it even received a Blu-ray release in America.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me that.
2022 also gave us the reimagining of the legendary Kamen Rider Black story with Black Sun on Prime Video. A much more violent and politically charged take on the classic series that took its own liberties with the source material. This series celebrates the 35th anniversary of Kamen Rider Black, serving as an example of just how iconic and legendary that series was. And did I mention it's really bloody? There's a lot from this show that I can't even show you on YouTube. 2022 also gave us the direct anime sequel to Kamen Rider Double in Futo Pi. This series follows Shotaro and Philip as they solve crimes and do Kamen Rider things in a post-museum world. Double is extremely popular, and the success of Futo Pi raises hopes that maybe someday the fandom will be treated to anime adaptations of more Kamen Rider series. And this show is even getting a film release this coming November. In 2022, we also got the O's 10th anniversary movie, the 10th Core Medal of Fate, in which Eiji's story would come to an end, and many fans were quite unhappy about how it ended. I've had people tell me in the comments that in Japan people were crying in the theaters. Regardless of how you feel, this was a historically significant Kamen Rider project. 2023 brought us Kamen Rider Gotchard, a lighthearted and fun rider season focusing on Hotaro Ichinose, also known as Kamen Rider Gotchard. This series brought with it a new alchemy theme and a return to cards being used by the riders, in addition to fun creatures called Kimis. This story explores the lives of Hotaro and his friend Rin Kudo as they seek to capture the Kimis. After some more serious projects, Gotchard was a season that had a few shortcomings in terms of story beats and character development, but historically the franchise tends to ebb and flow between lighthearted kid-friendly seasons and darker seasons with more mature stories. Gotchard leans more towards...
Okay, so my question is, what was so political about it? Like, what was the political stance or the political view of Black Sun?
being a kid-friendly season, like I just described, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Now I remember this writer. I remember seeing this writer.
And some fans might
I was
even
trying to figure out who this was, but now I remember. This is the one where he high jump, kick, and like I have like a short. If you ever like seen that short, it's like I was just trying to figure out why he did that.
and view it as a positive. 2023 also gave us the incredibly stylish love letter to the original Kamen Rider series in the form of Shin Kamen Rider, another reimagining to celebrate the franchise's 50th anniversary. This movie set out to take everything that made the original series great and dial it up to 11. The look, tone, style, and music are all faithful.
Is there a reason why she keeps saying that? Is that like her catchphrase or something?
Fully recreated here, with a new layer of flair and high production values that only time and a large budget can provide. This movie tells a story that's a combination of several story beats from throughout the original series, and these elements are all stitched together in a really entertaining way. It's obvious that the people involved in making this movie had a ton of love for the franchise, and they put their hearts into making it. And now, in 2024, at the time of making this video, we finally have a look at the next rider coming up in Kamen Rider Gav, a snack-themed rider whose catchphrase is, "Sweets and evil, I'll eat them up." He has a unique purple, blue, and yellow color scheme, along
I'll be right back. Give me about 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Just give me about 5 minutes. Sorry, but I had to take care of something. Sorry for pausing. I had to take care of something. But victory, it said mostly related to Japanese politics, which is pretty complicated. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Can't see much about that because I'm not from Japan, so I guess it's mostly dealing with Japanese society, so I can't kind of relate to that. Which I can see that, why people would hate to see that. Like, they don't want to see something they have to already deal with in real life. They just want something to escape from. So I can see why people would be mad that they would bring something from in real life into a show that's, people just want to relax and kick back and escape.
Style and music are all faithfully recreated here, with a new layer of flair and high production values that only time and a large budget can provide. This movie tells a story that's a combination of several story beats from throughout the original series, and these elements are all stitched together in a really entertaining way. It's obvious that the people involved in making this movie had a ton of love for the franchise, and they put their hearts into making it. And now, in 2024, at the time of making this video, we finally have a look at the next rider coming up in Kamen Rider Gav, a snack-themed rider whose catchphrase is, "Sweets and evil, I'll eat them up." He has a unique purple, blue, and yellow color scheme, along with some other cool-looking forms. And if history is any indicator, this will be another big year for Kamen Rider. For 50 years, the Kamen Rider franchise has given us some amazing characters, interesting stories, jaw-dropping action, and heart-wrenching drama. We've seen hundreds of riders fight for what they believe in or who they care about, tons of evil organizations be brought to justice, and we've been lucky enough to enjoy this amazingly weird and wonderful world of triumph called Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider.
Thanks for taking a trip with me through the history of this awesome franchise. I'd love to hear what your favorite Kamen Rider moment is in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it a lot if you would.
Okay guys, that was the complete history of Kamen Rider by Akrami Toko. Even though he stopped at 2024, and I believe Setsu, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, was a 2025 of Kamen Rider. But the last one, I remember seeing that my first stream of doing Tokusatsu and Kamen Rider. I was like trying to figure out why was there like a candy theme, but yeah, I see. Now we're gonna get into like the villain riders. I think the villain riders Henshin. I'm gonna check that out. Okay, I'm doing it like this because I'm not sure. It's clips and stuff, and last time I did something like this, Toei was coming. It was like really, yeah. So now we're gonna like move to a reactions kind of like this. So this is a TV series Villain Riders Henshin 2002 to 2026. So let's just check it out. And this is by Tokusatsu 2025. This is a video, is a hobby video for you young people and adults. And this is from Kuga, right? This is Kuga, right? I saw the writer's henshins, so right now I'm doing the villain's henshins. I take that his is like a cobra motif. Is that what y'all call it? Motif? His is like a cobra motif.
Unite Bento. Final Bento. Guard Bento.確かにライダーとなって頂点を極めるのは興味深い。変身
It's from Yuki, right? It's pronounced Yuki. You drop the R, right? You don't see Ryuki. You just say Yuki because in the last video he said Yuki, so I think you just dropped the R. This is from Yuki.
Final Bento. Strike Bento.
I see he's like more of like a crab motif, like a crab.
俺はとどめを迷ったりしないけどいいよね。変身ストライクベント。
I'm just checking my stream on my phone. That's what I'm doing. If you guys want to know what I'm doing, just like checking my stream on my phone.
アドベント。コンファインベント。ファイナルベント。俺はとどめを迷ったりしないけどいいよね。
Go back to some of the parts I missed because I was just checking my phone, my stream on my phone.
変身ストライクベント。
What is he, like a rhinoceros rider? Like his first villain? It's like a rhinoceros. Kamen Rider series is this Kuga or Yuki? Yo, why is he just slapping them? Why is he just slapping them? Like, he's just slapping them. He's not even punching, he's just slapping. So he's what the kids would say, ore farming right now. And he just slaps them. This is hilarious. Like, he's not even punching them or kicking them, he's just slapping them. And he just ore farms. Why did they jump? What was the point of that? Why did they jump?
Standing by. Henshin. Complete. Henshin. Complete.
Wait, was this the same guy? I'm confused.
Henshin. Complete.
Okay. This is one guy. This is another guy.
Henshin. Complete.
Why I feel like they're wearing the same suit though? Or I don't know if they're wearing the same suit or not. just a heads up. I didn't notice this video was like 46 minutes. I'll probably just watch like maybe 20 minutes of this video, and I'll probably save it for another time. So we're just gonna like watch just the first 20 minutes, and like the rest probably another time. We'll watch it. I'll put it as the like I'll make a hodgepodge Toko stream, like after, because I'm doing like by things like the next time I do a Toko stream, it'd be like Ultraman, so all things Ultraman, and then Metal Hero. So I guess when I do the Metal Hero thing, I could put this along with some other like Toko stuff, because the Metal Hero video by Aquame, it's a short video. I think it's like less than 30 minutes, so we could speed past that and like watch other like stuff. So I'll put it, you know, I'm gonna save it for like when I do like, if I have time for, you know, during the stream, I'll do that, or I'll do like a after my Godzilla stream, because I do want to do a Godzilla stream. I'll probably make like a hodgepodge and just like add this to like the hodgepodge, which is like a mix of like all things Toko. So after this, I do want to see the female henshins. I do want to see the female henshins, so I'm pretty sure that one's a little longer too. But I'm probably watch the first 20 minutes of that, and if that was like, well, let's say 40 minutes, I think like again the first 20 minutes. I'm not trying to like drag the stream in a little too long. I have to like kind of be somewhere like 3 o'clock Central Time. I'm assuming he's a bad guy, just because the way he looks. I mean, making a face, I would assume he's like the bad guy. I mean, this is villain writers henshin, so I'm trying to figure out who's the villain, who's not. I mean, I can tell who's not the villain. That's how people leave? Oh wow. They just turn to ash?
Henshin complete. Standing by. Complete. Henshin complete.
So when he did that, was he like, hold on, what form was that? Like what like what form was this? The first form he did.
Henshin complete.
And is he the bad guy? And so, like, what form was that? Like, this first form, what was that? Henshin? I mean, I know, like, Henshin, I mean, like, what form of his Henshin is it? I'm looking at villain writer's Henshins right now.
Open now.
Wait, hold on. Okay, how come he get Henshin to this, right? He's Henshin to this. And how come this guy can Henshin to the same form? I don't understand.
Cast off. Rider Sting. Cast off.人間の分際でファンガイアに歯向かいし者死だ佐川区変身
Is there a reason why he's doing that? Like, why is he doing? Is he like a puppet writer? Like, what's his, his story? Like, why is he taunting him like that? Like puppets. Of course, we have to do that for comedic purposes. Okay, so this is the vampire riders. Okay. When he does that hurt him? Or no? It's like a sting or something? I remembered in the last video about this writer series, but I forgot the name of him. But I remember this writer. But he has like a shark motif. It's kind of hard for me to keep up with names. There's like so many like different writers. So it's kind of by looking at them, I'm like, oh, I know that writer, but like to give them a name, I kind of can't right now.
君たちにも我が社の繁栄のために働いてもらおうか。恐怖と安心のバランスを私が決める。今日のライダ カリスの力とジョーカー最強のアンデッドジョーカーの力を使ってな。
You could tell he's a villain. You could tell he's definitely a villain.
お前の腕よ。ガブル変身。ガブル。
This is all just from the Vampire Rider show? Wow.
変身。
変身変身変身。 蹴りをつけてあげましょう大輝。変身。カイト来るな。キャストライアンシン。
何も心配。
Yeah, was that like a twist right there? By their expression, was that like a twist for them?
することはない。そうか。しかしこれは運命だ。娘が世話になったな。ありがとう。
あいにくだけどそう簡単にはやらせない。変身。
ぶどう。ロックオン。ぶどうアームズ。ぶどう。暇だ。
So this is the one based on the samurai.
それも人に伝染する。コウタさん、あなたはそうやって病原菌をまき散らしてるんですよ。
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Oh, sorry about that. I'm gonna stop right there. Come back to it another time. Hey guys, I'm going to cut the stream a little short. I have something to do. I have somewhere to be. So it's gonna, I have to cut that. Was gonna do the female henshins, but I'm gonna save that for another time to do the female henshins, and I'm gonna save the villain henshins for another time. But glad that you guys came up. Glad you guys came. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. I'm gonna catch y'all next time, and we'll be doing the next time we'll be doing the Ultraman. We'll be looking into Ultraman. So that'll be the next Toko theme stream. The next Tokusatsu theme stream will be about Ultraman. So once I get through Ultraman and all that, I'll probably go back to the videos that I need to finish, and we'll just do like one-offs, like reactions. But thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for subscribing. We're at 76. We're getting close to hitting our 100 goal. And to Juga Sinin, I haven't forgot. I'm gonna get to you over the weekend. I'm gonna do it over the weekend. But until then, I'm gonna see y'all next time. Sorry I had to cut the stream a little short. I have something to do. But I'm gonna see y'all next time. I'll be back next week on stream. Next week, I'm just gonna be continuing playing Resident Evil Requiem. So check that out. I've been playing Resident Evil Requiem on stream. So check that out. And I think next Friday gonna be the Ultraman. Like this Friday was Kamen Rider. Next Friday is gonna be Ultraman. But any other day, I'm just playing on stream. I'm just playing Resident Evil. So if you like Resident Evil and or just like gaming, come hang out with me. That's what I'm doing. But I'm gonna see y'all next week.